What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. Thanks for clicking on today's video. I have a short and sweet video for you today. I have to go get my walk-in, and then I'm gonna make a recipe that I can have later, and it's a low-carb mac and cheese, but it's something that you can make up ahead of time. So if you're busy like me and you need a nice easy casserole or just something you can just whip up real quick, this is a tried and true low-carb mac and cheese recipe made with my favorite secret ingredient, cottage cheese. So I have a bunch of variations for you. It's delicious, it's easy, it is something that will just hit the spot when it comes to those comfort foods and also help keep you on track when you need something like this. So what do you say we get this video started? Okay, see that weather right here? Look at my thermometer. Those temperatures mean you have to get outside and walk. It is not very often that is mid-70s, and that is the absolute best time to get out and get some steps in, go outside in your back patio, sit on your deck, just go outside. It's the absolute best temperatures. I tell you right now, like the first 10 minutes, the last thing I want to do is go out and get this workout in and all this stuff, but by the time I'm at the end of my workout, I'm so feeling it and feeling so good that I am just a changed person. But you have to get that hard part of the workout through to be able to appreciate all of the good juices that your body starts naturally producing by just getting out and moving your body. I don't care how fast I go. I don't care how far I go. I just care that I do it. So that's one of the reasons that I can keep the crazy and the chaos of my life under control. So one thing I do want to say, being that the temperatures are favorable right now, Texas is still all over the place. So this weekend, it is going to be hot as heck in my softball tournament for my daughter. So we have at minimum 8 games this weekend. So I'll be using these delicious electrolytes. So with that said, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, LMNT. I have been using these electrolytes now at least 3 years, maybe longer on this channel. They are the only brand of electrolytes that I highly recommend, the ones I personally use. I don't recommend stuff on this channel that I don't personally use because I can put my head behind these and say I truly love these. But we have a forecast of 96 degrees this weekend, so I'll be sweating quite a bit. And the reason I take these electrolytes is because each packet contains a science-backed ratio of electrolytes. So you're getting 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium in each packet. When I'm sweating really hard or I'm doing intermittent fasting, if I have a sweet craving, I swear all it takes is a couple sips of this and it helps either distract, divert. I don't know, but 1 minute I'm craving something, next minute I have completely forgotten about it. And all I did was just drink some electrolytes. And mainly they're gluten-free, sugar-free, and there's no artificial flavors, fillers, colors, dyes, that kind of thing. So it's just a great tasting electrolyte, and it just helps me keep my fitness and health goals moving, along with keeping me hydrated, the most important reason that I personally use electrolytes. So with that said, my favorite flavors, you will see me use tons of watermelon. My husband's favorite is the citrus. My kids love the orange. My new favorite has become the grapefruit. But don't take my word for it. You can get this free sample pack with any order using my special link down below, and you can try out your own flavors and figure out which one you like the best. But this promo is only available for you guys with my special link, but you can use it as many times as you want. So go to drinkelement.com/keto rewind. That is drinkelement.com/keto rewind and get yourself a free sample pack with any order. Thanks LMNT for sponsoring this video. Now I'm gonna go get that walk-in because you have to practice what you preach, and I'll be back to make that tasty and delicious low-carb mac and cheese. And lunch today is going to be soup. Soup is so easy. It's another way to stay on track easily because you can make a big batch of soup up, whether you're home or not, if you have a crock pot, an instant pot, even if you were brave enough, a stovetop. But it's something you can make up at any time of the day and keep it in the fridge and reheat it when you need it. So I'm doing lots of soups right now, especially since it's fall. So this particular one is a loaded cauliflower soup. It's like basically like a loaded potato soup, but it's like 5 ingredients: chicken broth, cauliflower, cheese, cream cheese, and some spices, like onion powder, that salt, pepper. And you just put it in a crock pot, puree it, add the cheese when it's all done, and it's so good. So I'm having that for my lunch. I will put a recipe link to that one right here. And also down in the comments below. I've made it on this channel before. So that's what I'm having today for lunch. In the meantime, we're gonna prep dinner because dinner gets really hard when you have a very busy schedule and you're trying to stay on track. So one of the best ways to stay on track is to make stuff up ahead of time and planning. When I find myself not eating keto, it's usually because I didn't plan ahead. I mean, the world's not, or I should say, it's the grocery stores, the fast food restaurants, the regular restaurants, they're just not set up to have keto or low carb meals easily accessible. So it's always easier to plan ahead and be proactive when it comes to that. This way you can stay on track. So for me, I'm going to be prepping foods while I have the time, instead of waiting till the last minute, because when I wait till the last minute, that's when I go off track. Because it's an excuse, or it's a convenient excuse to go off track. Like, oh, I didn't have anything. I don't have anything in my fridge. You know, it's just one of those things where if you can avoid it, do it. So planning is key. So I'm going to be making a mac and cheese casserole. This one is so freaking good. It's so easy, and I'm gonna make it up ahead of time. And when I come home from my daughter's softball practice tonight, I'm just gonna put it right in the oven and set it to go. It is gonna be so good. So let's change this camera around and make this delicious low carb mac and cheese. Alrighty, so this is what you need to make this delicious mac and cheese. Literally like 3 ingredients. I'm adding a couple extra spices, but the original recipe does not call for the spices. I personally like to shred my own cheese. I'm gonna shred this whole block up in my food processor at once. I'm gonna use half today and half tomorrow on another soup recipe. So it's just easier when I have the food processor out to shred it all at once. You can do it by hand though, or you can buy it store-bought pre-shredded. I just like the taste better when it's done right off the block. The pasta that I'm gonna be using is the Kaizen pasta. It's a high protein, low carb pasta. It's gluten-free. It is so tasty and delicious. You can swap this for any other low carb pasta or even miracle noodles. And then cottage cheese to help boost that protein. You can change the fat content easily with cottage cheese. If you don't like cottage cheese, you can use ricotta cheese, but this is what I'm gonna use, and then milk. The recipe only calls for mustard, but I like to add a few extra delicious spices just to make it my own. So again, this recipe is from Lilsipper on Instagram, and I'll post that down below. All right, so now we're just gonna take a chunk, put it in here, and repeat. Okay, so this is 1 pound of shredded cheddar cheese. Again, you can just use a hand shredder. So I'm gonna set this aside, and then I'll shred the next part, and then this way I keep it separate. This way I know what recipe goes for which, and I'll have that prepped for tomorrow. Okay, so at this point, this is just the shredded cheese, and I'm gonna add all the rest of the ingredients to the bowl and mix it up. I'm using the 2% cottage cheese. You need a cup. If you don't want to use cottage cheese, you can totally use ricotta cheese. You can blend this, but I like the chunks, so I'm leaving the chunks. So you're gonna need at least 1 cup of either cottage cheese, blended cottage cheese, or ricotta cheese, and then 1 cup of milk. If you don't want to use regular milk, you can use cream, half and half, whole milk. The options are endless. But whatever milk you choose will work just fine in this recipe. It just needs to be milk. All right, so 2 cups of milk. Then you need 1 teaspoon of ground mustard. In other recipes, I've used a squirt of yellow mustard before, so it doesn't have to be ground mustard, but mustard. And then seasoning to taste, I'm gonna do onion powder, salt, just a little bit, and pepper. I'm sorry, garlic powder. And then last but not least, we're gonna give that a mix and then add in our pasta. And once this is nice and mixed, it is so easy just to pour right over the pasta And this is gonna go with 8 ounces of pasta. So pick whatever one is your favorite and use it. And while this sits in the fridge and waits, it'll absorb that milk, so it actually makes the cooking time even better than usual. So that is that. So now I'm gonna use the 8 ounces of my pasta. Dump that in there. And then I'm gonna spray my baking dish. This is I think it's an 8x8 or 9x9, don't quote me. But I like it to be a little thicker. It's gonna serve 4. It'll be our main dinner tonight. I'm not making anything else with it, but I do make sure I give it a good spray because cheese likes to stick. So I'm gonna stir this off camera here, and then I'm just gonna pour it right in there and let it do its thing. And the nice thing, get this in your shot here, about using the raw pasta is you can be a little bit more rough. Sometimes the gluten-free and all the fancy pastas, instead of the traditional wheat pastas, are like they fall apart. So being that these have not cooked yet, you can be a little bit more aggressive and not baby them so much. So now that that's ready, we're gonna transfer this right into our baking dish. Make sure it's greased. We got all the good stuff in here. And smooth it out as evenly as you can, because you want to make sure that liquid is where the pasta is, because that's going to make it nice and tender while it cooks. And oh my gosh, does that not look fantastic or what? And this literally took me 5 minutes to do, especially if I had my cheese already pre-shredded that I did myself. And now I'm just going to cover this with some plastic wrap. All right, now we're just gonna put this in the fridge until I'm ready to bake it. And while that's cooking, I do wanna say you can use a crock pot and put it on the high setting for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's a great way to make that up ahead of time. Or if you need something to be done in a couple of hours, make it ahead of time, come back and enjoy it. And there you have the finished product. Bubbly, delicious, tasty. Oh my goodness, so tasty. And also a kid-friendly recipe. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss any videos. And also, don't forget, use my special link down below to get your free sample pack with any order. Thanks, Element, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye!